before I go into the main subject of this video, I hope Floyd continues to ignore Amir Khan. Amir Khan is really becoming an irritating motherfucker. Alright? Amir Khan, you do not deserve a mega fight with Floyd Mayweather, alright? Floyd has had enough, mediocre bouts against mediocre and subpar opponents. That's one of the main criticisms of him. He would just be feeding into that by fighting against your glass jaw ass. Alright, yeah, you have speed, but you have no fucking chin. And you just don't deserve the fight, man, alright? Now, so I hope that Floyd keeps ignoring him, at least for this one fight, okay? I mean, for this fight coming up. If you want to fight him in the near future, fine. You'll deserve it if you fight Manny Pacquiao, which is the subject of this video. This is the closest that I've ever seen these two get to actually fighting. Reportedly, Bob Arum, well, top rank, but of course Bob Arum, and Manny Pacquiao have agreed to the terms, including the 60-40 split. And I just read something online that said that reps close to Floyd Mayweather have said that he's very close to signing. If this occurs, I'm going to have to shift gears on my channel, man. I've always been kind of a basketball channel, but, you know, I'm still going to talk about basketball, but boxing was once my favorite sport. I'm sort of a guy who has been a heavyweight. I'm more into the heavyweight division, but if you're talking about these two guys, these two Goliaths, I'm going to have to start talking more about boxing. And I think I have a lot of boxing subs anyway, so subs who are boxing fans. So I'm going to probably, if this fight happens, I'm going to gradually shift to talking more and more about boxing. Still going to talk about basketball, particularly during the playoffs, which will be around the time the fight happens, if it happens. All right. But I'm going to start talking more and more about boxing, man, and in particular this fight, and in the future about other fights too. Okay, because I haven't really been doing that. But this is what we all wanted, man. This is what we've been waiting for. We've been patient as fans. We've watched a lot of mediocre fights. All right. There could be the argument that they may have waited a little bit too long, but they're still still two gifted, phenomenal fighters. I hope this thing gets done. I hope there's no bullshit. Okay, you know, I hope there's no. We just get tired of this being let down the last moment shit, man. You know, and I'm gonna tell you why I personally want this fight to happen. All right, for the sport of boxing, period. All right, regardless of who you root for, this fight is what boxing needs. This fight will put boxing. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what you younger cats gonna realize. All right, when you start to, if this fight gets put together, you're gonna start seeing more mainstream attention to boxing. This is what it was like to be a boxing fan back in the 80s, and the 70s, and the early 1990s. Boxing was right there with basketball and football at one point, and baseball. It was probably the fourth most popular sport. I mean, right under probably baseball, maybe. And at one point, maybe a little bit ahead of baseball. The baseball really went downhill during the mid 90s after the strike. And during the 70s, you can make the argument that for a while, under Muhammad Ali, boxing was the number one sport in this country. I mean, you've probably seen the footage of white men in suits, leisure suits, businessmen going to boxing matches. I mean, boxing was a tremendously popular sport at one point in time. I think the first fight to do $1 million gate, if I'm not mistaken, was I think it was Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney, or it might have been Jack Dempsey and Furpa, but I can't recall. But I think it was Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney. All right. The second Joe Louis Max Schmeling fight was listened to on radio by over 100 million people worldwide. Joe Louis Billy Conn first fight, I did a 56.2 rating, not share but rating, meaning that 56% of all owned radios were tuned in at that time. Those are numbers that even Super Bowls don't do. Then you had the fight of the century, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. That fight was watched by over 300 million people. And then you had the 1987 bout between Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler that was viewed worldwide by nearly 400 million people. Boxing used to be a tremendously huge sport, and it breaks my heart to see how it's just been decimated over the past few years. But this is what can bring it back. This is what can bring it back. This fight. So for once, whether you like Floyd Mayweather, whether you like Manny Pacquiao, let's stop fighting one another and let's just hope that this fight gets put together. Now, I want to say this in conclusion, because I don't want to make a really long video. If Manny Pacquiao wins, all right, if he wins, with the exception of whether there's some funny business going on, right? If he convincingly beats Floyd Mayweather, if you're a Floyd Mayweather fan, give Manny his props. All right? Vice versa. If Floyd Mayweather handily defeats Manny Pacquiao, if you're a Pacquiao fan, hey, I know it might be hard, but you got to give this man his props, man. If Floyd wins, he will go down, in my opinion. You would have to consider putting him at least in your top 10 all time. You have to. That was the fight. Everybody was saying it was going to hurt his legacy. If he beats the hell out the guy that everyone keeps saying that was the one guy who could beat him and he couldn't do it, top 10. Perhaps, even, dare I say, top 5. If Manny Pacquiao wins, then that means that, hey, all these years when people kept saying Manny was the guy that could beat him, maybe that pushes Manny into shit. You know, I don't really hear people put Manny in the top 20. Maybe Manny will be in some people's top 20 all of a sudden. Maybe higher. Maybe Floyd takes a few steps down. Or maybe he and Floyd are about the same. Things work out a way, you know, in the end anyway. But I'm just praying and hoping that this fight gets done. I hope you guys feel the same way as I do. This fight is what boxing really needs. After this fight, I'm rooting that the heavyweight division comes back, because that was really needs. You know, I look at the heavyweight division as the head of boxing, and you know, you can't live without your head. You just can't survive. So I'm hoping that 2015 is the year that boxing comes back. I'm going to start making more videos talking about boxing. This is Mike Soul.